Hello everyone, welcome to Urbanscape Gardening, and in this episode we will be talking about these exotic orchids which in some places are considered to be prized possessions. They are scientifically called Oncidium orchids or dancing lady orchids. They are grown for their frilly and stunning blooms that look like the flamenca dancing girls. The blooms cascade like this, giving a very interesting twist to how an orchid bloom otherwise looks like. The Oncidium can be easily differentiated with the help of these bulbous parts called pseudobulbs that store water and nutrients that the plant uses to flower and grow. Over time, this may shrink. I have two types of Oncidium with me. The more golden yellow one with black tiger stripes called the Oncidium tiger crow or golden girl, and this chocolate brown colored one called Oncidium Shari Baby or chocolate orchid. The golden lady is not known to have any fragrance in it, but the Shari Baby, they say, has a mild fragrance of chocolate or vanilla. In my experience, the Shari has a beautiful out of the world smell, which is a mix of vanilla and lavender. However, you have to get close to the blooms to smell it. Now, let's look at its care. This can apply to a wide spectrum of orchids too. Sunlight. Please give this the brightest indirect sunlight you can get, but do not keep this under full sun. You can hang it like this under a patio, or you can grow this on top of a tree trunk with a good canopy. Now, if you see the leaves are yellowing and turning a little red, it means that they are getting too much sunlight. Watering. This likes consistent moisture, especially during summer months, so water the roots but not the leaves. Do not spray water on the leaves, flower, etc. If you are in an area that is already humid, fungal growth can occur. Just keep it in an area with lots of plants, and that is enough to improve humidity around the plant. You can water the roots twice a day during summer and reduce to once a day during the winter months. The roots of the orchids must look green to signify they are adequately hydrated. If the leaves are wrinkly, then it means they lack water. Fertilizing. I have a contrarian viewpoint on this. Your orchid does not need too much fertilizing for them to bloom. The blooming will happen regardless of how much you fertilize if you take care of its sunlight and watering needs. But if you still want to fertilize them, add a little bit of compost or use a good seaweed solution mixed with water. Do this during the summer months or thrice a year. Potting container. You can grow this in different containers, but use such containers that have holes in them that allow the roots to grow, and you can see the stark difference between these two. The one in the small container but with proper holes has a huge bloom stalk, but the one in a bigger container with no proper holes has a tiny bloom stalk. It's not the size of the container but how you grow this that would determine their growth. You can grow this on tree trunks as well, like I've grown this orchid here. Potting media. Use a well-draining mix and avoid using garden soil. So here I use 3 C's. The charcoal, coconut husk or cocoa fiber, and compost. Repotting and propagation. I'm combining these two aspects to show you how it is all done. So to propagate this, you must separate these pseudobulbs from the mother plant. And while doing this, ensure you get a lot of the roots intact, or at least some of them. So for the repotting, I'm using this orchid pot with holes on the sides and at the bottom. I will start with the coconut husks and then the charcoal, and then will slowly place the cuttings one by one. Now I will top it up with some compost and cocoa fiber from my old hanging pots. Now I'm watering this with a seaweed solution to give it a great start. Please remember to make holes in your container so as to allow the epiphytic roots to dangle like this. This is key. Now you can hang it as well, since hanging orchids will allow the roots to dangle freely, absorbing moisture from the air. This mimics its natural environment, and I'm using this plug basket, adding some charcoal and cocoa fiber and a small plantling, and topping it all up with some compost. I'm using a thread to hang this below the canopy of my mango tree. But in such areas, you must remember to water consistently because they get more sunlight than the ones that I have kept under the chaja. You can also grow this on a tree by tying the plant with some cocoa husk and charcoal. No compost must be used while doing this. But ensure that you water at least twice a day in such tree arrangements, especially during summers. Pruning. You can remove the old bloom stalks like this once they turn yellow or white. Pests and diseases. Now, I don't see too many pests attacking my orchids, but fungal spots are a problem, so take care of watering and don't water the leaves or the blooms as much. Just water the roots. The fungal spots ruin the aesthetics of the plant but does not kill the plant as far as I know and have experienced. You can use a neem oil mix with some baking soda and apply it to reduce these infections. Cold tolerance. I don't think this would thrive in a frosty or a snowy zone since they are tropical in nature, so grow them indoors if you experience high cold. So folks, if you are an orchid fanatic and are ready to spend enough on plants, then this is definitely worth all the money. A worthy investment that gives so much happiness in return. And with this, we've come to the end of yet another episode of Urbanscape Gardening, and I really hope you enjoyed this particular program. Additionally, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. The links are given below. And always remember, to grow slow is to grow well. Thank you for watching, and until we meet again, a very warm goodbye.